What's going on, guys? Hey, I wanted to address a question that came up from someone that I recently met that is actually a director of operations of a tech company. And she was asking whether the ripple effect or what I do could be applied to their organization. And I'm like, yes, absolutely. It's not just for individuals trying to build their personal and professional network. It's about building the right relationships to benefit, any situation. Any one of us depends on someone for our success. And especially in an organization where we depend on, building relationships between our organization, whether it be different departments or, with our own management team, or if we're in a management or leadership position, how to build those relationships with the key employees that we need and depend on to do what they do. It's super critical. And I don't think organizations spend nearly enough time or put enough effort towards training in this capacity, right? So helping an organization understand all the nuances that are involved just internally about how to build those relationships, how to create that engagement, how to help people connect and get to know one another so that they can have these opportunities to have these conversations to innovate and create, which only benefits the organization. But the one thing that I think gets lost on a lot of companies as well is that once that employee leaves and goes outside into the real world, they are an extension of the brand. People are asking them what they do, why they like their jobs. And this becomes a great way to build reputation and certainly brand awareness, but also just by extension, their enthusiasm, their excitement for what they do and how they do it, the people they work for, that also ripples out and potentially influences other individuals who might hear that and go, hey, that's a company and an organization I might want to check out. I might want to go to work for someday. And so the possibility of how those people interact and are enthusiastic about their brand, how they interact with those people out there has a potential influence on the recruiting efforts that your HR department potentially you would like to see as an ongoing continual process. And then obviously, how our people interact and engage with not only prospective customers, but our existing customers, looking at those relationships so that they're not just transactional, I think is so critical. Looking at ways to build trust with a prospective client, help them understand that you're bringing something more than just the product or service, but that individual is there and has a true commitment and honestly a vision in terms of how they want to develop that relationship to the organization. Those are things that organizations or companies of really any size really aren't thinking about, and I think that's super, super key. But then once you have the customer, what are we doing to foster that relationship, to grow that relationship and turn those customers into evangelists? So I think the ripple touches in every aspect of a corporate environment. And you might be saying, well, this sounds like just another pow, wow kind of training that, we might bring in. You can, but the reality is shifting culture is hard and it's difficult. It requires hands-on, experimental approaches to changing some of the behaviors that maybe aren't working for us, or shining a light on some of the behaviors that are working but need to be expanded, right? And need to be grown. And much of that involves about how we treat one another and how we are organized around, just doing, what we can to show up every day, put our best foot forward, and build the kinds of relationships that we need to internally and externally. So that is kind of how I approach that. I mean, there's so many different angles to this, how you develop a manager, how you develop, yourself as a leader. There's coaching, there is workshops, there's different approaches that we can take, and not one size fits all. And so that's why I like to do a real hands-on, full engagement with a potential corporate client, just to get an understanding of what are the challenges that you're facing, what are the issues, what are some of the things that you'd like to address, improve, or fix. That's where the opportunity comes in. And almost every one of these issues that come up in almost every consulting engagement involves some level of how people are treating one another. And I think it's a super, great place for, senior leadership or executive teams to start looking and saying, maybe we need some outside help. So it was a great question. I wanted to share that with you. So yeah, the ripple is not just for individuals, it's for corporations of all sizes. So you guys go out there, have a great day, make a difference in the world, make a difference in someone's life, make a difference in your own life. And as always, ripple on.